Hey guys, hello everyone, hello, good evening. Hello, Abhishek, hello, Gagan, hello, Akshat. Hi, good evening. Guys, am I audible? Just tell me in the chat box quickly. Am I audible and visible clearly? Good evening, good evening. Hello, okay, I'm visible then. Guys, am I audible? Just tell me in the chat box, please. Yes, okay. Okay, so guys, I'm here to host the session for now, and so let me introduce myself. So my name is Anam. I'm from LetsUpgrade, and so we are starting with HTML and CSS bootcamp, and I welcome you all to our program. So hi Shruti. So guys, this will be a 3 days bootcamp and 2 hours each day. So I just let me share you all my screen first. Yeah, I hope people my screen is visible to you all. Just tell me in the chat box. We can get certificate for this now. Yes, you will get the certificate when the in the on the day 3 of this session. Hi guys, hi. Guys, just tell me in the chat box my screen is visible or not. Yes, okay. So guys, we have first of all, we have this documentation link. You can click on this link and this page will appear. So you have from this is again the doc link, and from this link you can enroll for this boot camp. I have already enrolled for, so now it won't pop up. So you can enroll for this boot camp. Then scroll the page. Here you can see mark attendance option. You can mark your attendance from here. I will give 10 on 10. You can rate the session according to yourself, and you can also recommend it to your friends and family and whoever are in this field. And also we have improve like feedback option. If you have any feedback for us, anything like any positive, negative, whatever comes in your mind, whatever you think about us, just let us in the box. Then submit your assignment. Then after submitting the assignment, just reload the page. Here you can see a progress bar. It will increase day by day as you mark your day 2 or day 3 attendance. Then for getting the certificate, after marking all the days attendance, here you can see the certificate, generate certificate option on day 3. So you all can download the certificate from here. Also we have WhatsApp and Telegram group community. You can join that to get all the latest updates and invites and like reminder and everything you can get there. So yeah, just go to this link and you can do everything from there. These are the lectures link for the session, and here we have again step by step process to how to complete the program, how to mark your attendance, how to submit assign. If sir will give you any some assignment, so you will also get to see the submit assignment option below the mark attendance option. And also we have WhatsApp community. Everything is there in this page. And this is a note page, like whatever sir will teach you, everything is there. Everything is stored here. So you can save this link somewhere for your future purpose, like for future reference. But yeah, you cannot download this PDF, so save it somewhere, save this link somewhere. And also we have prepared some interview questions for you all, so you can practice it. And yeah, again we have this upcoming boot camp, that is Node.js 0 to hero, starting on 15th Feb. You can enroll through this link. And one important is, yes, student ambassador is a free program. You all can join for it. I will tell you all about that. Just so guys, student ambassador program, we have restarted it, and we have successfully launched 2 3 of our batches also. And again it's starting from March. And here you can get the benefit to like you can get incentives, swags, you can attend workshops. You will also get the certificate if you successfully complete this course. And you also get the chance to work with us. So guys, you can go to this page, and you can see everything, and you can apply from here, or the link that I have mentioned in the description box. So if you have any doubt, you can reach out to us. And these are the things that you will get when you complete this program. So yeah, You also get the chance to attend workshop on colleges also, guys. So enroll for it. I will share the link in the chat box. Good evening, everyone. Guys, are you all excited? Just tell me in the chat. Put some emojis in the chat box if you people are excited. Just let me know fast. Then I will introduce to the trainer, that is Satyam sir. He will be your trainer for 3 days. He will guide you. You can ask any doubt, anything to him. He will surely reply to you all. Guys, yeah, that's what. Guys, put any emojis, whatever you like, you can put it in the chat box. Where to see assignment? For now, so there is no assignment, and hopefully, if sir gives any assignment, then I will put it in the. You can see in that attendance page only. Hi, hi. This bootcamp is only for 3 days, not 5 days. It's a 3 days, 2 hours each day. Hi Abhi. Hi Prakash. Okay, so I will introduce to the so, guys. You don't have any doubt. I hope so. You don't have any doubt. So I will introduce you all to the trainer. Hi sir. Good evening.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Good evening. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm also good.
Sir, can you give us like brief introduction about yourself to our students, like what your field and all, and what are
Yeah,
we going to learn today?
yeah. So, hello, guys. My name is Satyam Tripathi, and I am basically working as a data scientist from past 4 years. So today, like, I'll be just going to teach you about this HTML and CSS, the basic part of it, and side by side, I'll be even going to give you the advice how you can basically land on basically a job on web development if like you guys are interested and all. So tell me, guys, how are you?
Sir, so I will leave. I will hand over
Yeah,
the session to you. Yeah. Okay.
sure.
Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.
Hi, guys. Good evening. Hi. So, guys, just see this thing. We basically have a 3 day this thing boot camp. So, in the first day, what we'll be basically going to do is in the first day we'll be just going to learn about the basic of HTML, and I can basically say some advanced things also. And the second day I will basically try to cover all the CSS part, and after that if there is something remaining on the day 3 we'll be going to cover it, plus I'll be even going to show you one project on the day 3. All right. Yeah. So just see this thing. Before starting this boot camp, let me just tell you, most of you, let us just say, some of you was really not aware about what coding is. You might have never write any kind of a code in your life, right? So that is like completely okay. And some of you might have already watched some HTML tutorials, or maybe you was basically going through some kind of a like website, right? So some of you was okay. Yeah, HTML notes you will be going to get, Shraddha. Don't worry about it. The link will be there, all document in one. If you'll be just going to see in this thing, the description box over there, you will be able to find it. So, all right. So, some of you might be not aware about the coding. So, if I just talk about HTML and CSS, these are like really basic languages. You will not going to face. Yeah, basis we will be going to cover. In the description box you'll be just see after the class all the things that I'll be just going to show you over here. I'll be going to provide that things in the one document, the link that you'll be able to see in the description. All right, so just wait for it. First let's just finish the session the first day, and after that I'll be just going to provide you all the notes and all. You don't have to worry about the notes. Each and everything that I'll be just going to show you over here, I'll be just going to provide you that. All right. So guys, let us just say if we guys are like starting this thing, any kind of a coding, like whether you are starting with C, whether you are starting with Python, whether you are starting with web development. All right. So we always have some kind of a fear that will I be able to do it or not? That is the main thing. Really sorry if my voice is low. Is it good now, guys? Is it good? My voice is good now? You guys are clearly able to hear me? Okay. Thank you very much for the confirmation, guys. So we initially what basically happened, guys. Initially, we have a doubt that whether I'll be able to do it or not. That is the main thing. Okay, like we always have a fear: should I start it or not? And what basically happened when you will be going to start this thing? When you will be just going to pick any kind of a language, and when you will be just going to start it. So most of the people used to do this thing that they used to drop it in between, right? Like whether they are stuck, whether they've been stuck in some kind of a part, maybe in some kind of a topic, so they just like stop it. They like don't continue this thing, the more tutorials and all. So you guys don't have to do this thing. All right, just be with me for the 3 days, and I'm sure you will be going to learn the basics and some advanced things in css and html, that for sure. uh, yes, you can watch the video. Nitin, you can basically watch the video. The recording will be there. You don't have to worry about the video part. So, where I was, yeah. So the basic part I'll be just going to show you, plus the advanced part. Now, one more thing, guys. Whenever, let us just say, if I am starting something new, I always had this doubt. Okay, all the YouTube, all the people who are basically showing this tutorial and all, okay, all the people's like on YouTube, if I'll be just going to follow any xyz guy, or maybe any kind of a site I'll be just going to follow for learning purpose for html and css, right? I always used to think, okay, these all are basically showing me the basic part, but what kind of a code I'll be going to do in real life? That is the main thing. Will I be the same code that people are basically showing me on YouTube? Do I have to code the same thing in real life, or things will be lot different? uh, yeah. Kranti, just wait. I'll be just going to clarify this doubt. Just wait for it. All right. Now, okay, so just see, guys, whenever we are learning these things from the very basic, okay, I'll be just going to share my screen also. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, let me just share my screen, and after that we'll be just going to continue this thing. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. So first of all, we'll be just going to discuss the basic part of web development over here. So guys, just see this thing. If you are new to this thing, html and css, all right, is my screen visible, guys? Okay, now, so all the basic part that we'll be going to see on any kind of a YouTube video or on any kind of a site, the same thing we used to implement. Uh, okay, Utpal, basically, okay, just can you please give me some data? Okay, html, css, js, and react you have learned, right? What you if you are a fresher and if you are from non-technical background, that is basically not a problem. If you are from a non-technical background, the first thing that you have to do is you basically have to apply maybe for some kind of an internship, or you basically have to build some good projects. Let's just say, if I just talk about maybe what kind of a project you have mentioned in your resume, let's just say a portfolio one. Let's just say you have mentioned a Amazon cloning website and all right. So just see, lot of people who are basically freshers and all, right, they have mentioned the same resume that you have basically mentioned. So you have to include some unique projects which will like make you different from other resumes. All right, I think this is the thing that you have to do. Recording will be available, guys. Don't worry about it. Okay. So let's just start the session. So first we'll be just going to talk about web development. All right. So whenever I'll be just going to talk about web development, right, it always include two parts. Okay. Two things will be there in web development. Web development. So it always include, yeah, Gauri, just see. This course is for the front end only. The HTML and CSS part basically comes in front end only. So over here we are covering the front end only, right? And on the day 3, I'll be even going to show you the project part. All right. All the thing that you have to do after this 1, 2, and 3 day is practice. You have to do more practice. As many errors as you will be going to get, that will be good for you, because the error that you will be going to get in future, you are like solving that right now only. ओके गाइज, मैं हिंदी में भी बोलूंगा, ऐसा नहीं है, अगर आपको हिंदी में कुछ भी पूछना हो तो आप लोग पूछ सकते हो. सो दिस boot camp will be in English and Hindi both. All right, so let us just start this thing. If I just talk about a web development, right? Yeah. So if I just talk about web development, so it always include two things, that is front end, and the second thing is basically back end. All right, front end is basically what you'll be able to see this YouTube video over here, right? You can basically subscribe the channel by just clicking on the button. You will be able to subscribe this Let's Upgrade channel. There's a like button, there's a like share button, right? You can like after the recording, what you can basically do, you can like increase or decrease the quality of the video. All right, Shraddha, wait, I'll be going to suggest some good projects on the day 3. We'll be just going to go step by step. Yeah, sure. We'll be going to continue in English, but if someone is basically lagging somewhere and they want an explanation in Hindi, at that time I'll be going to explain in Hindi. Don't worry about it. Now, so front end and back end. So you'll be able to see that you can basically increase the this thing speed, right? Speed is basically there on the YouTube channel. You can basically like the video, you can share the video. These things you can basically do by just clicking on some buttons. All right, but if I just talk about backend, if you are clicking that speed button, right, there are like multiple options, 0.25, like 1, 1.25, 2x, this thing will be there, right? So at that time there's like some code that is running. When you are hitting this button, there is something that is going for the backend. Okay, so that is the use case of backend. If you are like liking it, and you will be able to see how many people have liked it. So this thing is basically getting stored somewhere. So you'll be able to see, okay, this much likes are basically there. Okay, so that is basically your front end and back end. Now, apart from these two, there is one more thing that is really important, that is database. Okay, if you guys are like have started these things, like what is database and all, right? So you might be thinking, okay, what is the need of database? Let us just say, if I am basically building a project, I can store that in my system. All right, all the details that you basically want to show on website, or maybe you want to store a data, I can store it in my system. Then what is the need of this database? First of all, there are like two type of database. Okay, you can basically consider most populars are SQL, and the second one is MongoDB. So whenever I talk about SQL and MongoDB, SQL will be used for storing the structured database. A structured database basically means, let us just say I have some columns, okay, person name, and let us just say class, and let us just say result. Okay, let us just say person name is XYZ. Class is basically 10 and result is basically F. That means that particular person has been like failed. Now, let us just say ABC, class is 10 and the person was passed. Or you can even store the result like he got 30% and this guy basically got 70%. So if I just talk about like this, so this is called, this data is in table. So whenever you will be going to see that there is a table, right, that we consider in a structured data set. Okay, this is known as a structured data set. Now, okay, okay, yeah, for sure. I'll be just going to change the red color. No worries. Let me just pick yellow. It will be more visible. Now, if I just talk about MongoDB, what kind of a data we'll be going to store over here? Where data have no pattern. Okay, the data not in table. As simple as that. All right. If the data is not in table, then we'll be going to use MongoDB. If the data is in table, we'll be going to use SQL. Let's just keep things very simple. All right. Now, after that, if I just talk about now front end, front end, right? So in front end, we basically have languages that you can basically learn. That is HTML. The second one is CSS that we will be going to learn. And the third one is Java script. These are the three languages that you can basically learn. Now let us just differentiate between these things. What is HTML? What is CSS? What is JavaScript? All right. Now, so if I just talk about guys, HTML. Okay, the full form of this language is basically nothing but hypertext markup language. All right. Now, let us just talk about what is this HTML will going to do and what this CSS will going to do. If I just talk about CSS, CSS is basically nothing, but it is a cascading style sheet. Like, like this only, I'll be just going to tell you what is the like full form of these languages, but it is not important to remember all of these things. Okay. Now, okay, what you are saying? Cube tender, YT. What are you asking? Okay, so HTML and CSS. Now let us just talk about when what is the role of HTML in industry and what is the role of CSS in industry, right? If I just talk about a skeleton, okay, okay. So if I just talk about HTML, right? HTML is like a skeleton, okay, the skeleton. Now, if I just talk about CSS, CSS is basically like the whole body. You will be able to see the mass, you will be able to see the eyes, nose. All right. You will be basically able to see hands and all. So that is basically the difference between CSS and this thing, HTML. Let me just show you. Just see, you will be able to see this one. Let me just show you this image. Or if I just give you some other examples also. So what can be the other examples? The other examples will can be if you will be just going to build a home, right? Right. Over there will be a lot of raw material, pipes will be there, rods will be there, and multiple things will be there. All right, after the structure, what you basically do, you basically used to paint it, you basically used to apply wallpapers, you basically used to apply lights, so you can make your home more beautiful. All right, yeah. So that is basically the difference between CSS and HTML. CSS and HTML both are basically very important. So let me just show you that image that I was basically going to show you. Okay, this you can basically consider as like HTML. This is your HTML plus CSS. Now HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript. Now what is basically that? Let us just say you have built the this thing. You have the skeleton. Okay, you have converted this skeleton into a beautiful person by using CSS. But now if I have to move my hands, if I have to like do something, at that time we need some kind of a logic. So at that time we'll be basically going to use JavaScript. Okay, at that time we'll be basically going to use JavaScript at that time. All right, guys, am I not audible? People are basically complaining that I should like, hello, hello, am I not clearly audible, or am I not that much loud? Okay, so we'll be able to see that cascading style sheet is just for the style. And if I just talk about JavaScript is basically just for the logic purpose. Let's just say you have the light, let's just say you have lights, you have walls, you have each and everything. But if you'll be just going to push the button, it should like on the light, right? So at that time you need a logic that by just pressing the button the light should get on. So at that time we'll be basically going to need JavaScript at that time. All right, so that comes in front end. Now if I just talk about back end, all right, if I just talk about back end, guys, don't worry, we'll be just going to speed it up. But over here I have to give the introduction also about these things. All right, so don't worry, just please be calm. It's just half an hour only. The class will be till this thing 8:30, and we have more 2 days. So we'll be going to cover each and everything. But the main thing is each and everybody should be able to understand what I am explaining over here. That is the main thing. Okay. Now, so backend we basically have over here. Now, if I just talk about backend, so backend is like you can basically consider backend. We can basically use Node.js. The second one is basically Django. We can basically use. All right, and we can basically use over a PHP or Java. These are the like for backend. But over here, what we'll be basically going to do, that we'll be majorly going to focus. We'll be basically majorly going to focus in the front end, not in the back end. All right, we'll be going to focus on the front end. So we'll be going to learn these languages over here, HTML and CSS. JavaScript will be not going to work, and at the end I'll be just going to show you this thing also. Now, okay, you have learned, let us just say you have learned these things in the front end. You are completely aware about HTML and CSS, but there are some essential things. If you basically want a job, if you want to land up on a like good job, all right, at that time there are some very essential things that you should be able to know. Essentials, what are basically that things? Let's just talk about. The first one is terminal command. Okay, the second one that I'll be going to talk about is git or github. Okay, the third one is, let's just say, you can basically consider on these two majorly. So let me just rub it. Okay, these things. Now you might be just going to okay. So just see this thing. Terminal commands you should be able to learn, and Git and GitHub will you will be going to learn. Now, why we basically need terminal commands? Whenever you will be going to work in an industry, at that time you will be going to access each and everything through the terminal only. GitHub is, yeah, you can basically use GitHub also by terminal commands. Okay. And if I just talk about what Git and GitHub is, let us just say, if you'll be just going to work, for sure you will be going to work with company's laptop. Okay. You'll be going to work with company's laptop. Let us just say if your laptop is not working, and if you basically have to restart your laptop and you have all your data in your laptop, so at that time what will basically going to happen? You will be going to lose each and every data. You will be going to lose each and every data that you was having in your laptop. So what we used to do, the important files that we have, we simply used to upload it, or we simply used to like upload it on Git and GitHub. All right. Now, if I just talk about a terminal command, you might be thinking, okay, why terminal commands are like important? Let me just show you this thing. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. If I'll be just going to show you my terminal, okay, this is like the terminal. You will be going to access each and everything in real life with this terminal only. Just an introduction I'm basically giving over here, guys. All right, let's just say currently I am at which directory. So there is a command like pwd. So currently my directory is this user Satyam Tripathi. And if I just do, these are like all my this thing directories over here. If I'll be just going to do list directories, so over here it will be just going to show me this thing directories. Let us just say we all have document download folder in our laptop. Is screen not visible? Just 1 second. Really sorry, guys. My screen is not visible. Okay, I think now it is visible, right? Okay, it was visible, right, at that time? Yeah, okay. Really sorry. Let me just share it again. Okay, so this is like a basic. Like these all things are important. This is all I have to explain. Now, let us just start the coding part over here. The first thing is how we'll be basically going to code it, code the HTML and all. Just 1 second. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So the main thing is that how we can basically, I can say, just 1 second, code the HTML. So just see this thing, guys. For that, we'll be going to need a notebook. Let's just say if you have to make some kind of a notes at that time, what you will be going to do? You'll be just going to pick a notebook and a pen. All right. Similarly, when we will be going to go code, we need a coding notebook. At that time, you'll be basically going to need a coding notebook. So over here, we will be basically going to use VS Code. Let's just say if you guys don't have VS Code, so what we'll be basically going to do, I'll be just going to guide you how you can basically set up the environment over here. So let's just go on Google and you just basically have to write VS Code. You'll be able to see this one, the official website of VS Code, and you'll be just going to click over here. Now, over here, it will be basically going to suggest you, if you'll be just going to go on this side with your Windows laptop, it will be automatically going to suggest you for the window. If you're using a Mac, it will automatically going to suggest you for the Mac. Okay. Now, if I'll be just going to download it, okay, what you basically have to do is, you will be able to see this one, this site, and you just have to click over here, the download part, and you will be going to see that it has started downloading. Okay, over here. Okay, just wait. Yeah. You just have to click over here. Yeah. And you will be able to see over here it is downloading. All right. Once it is downloaded, what you basically have to do, just go on the this thing, downloaded part. Okay. Over here, you will be able to see my VS Code. Just click over here. It will be just going to unzip it. Again, click over here and follow the instruction part. Okay. Over here, it is basically getting installed, nothing else. So this is basically your VS Code. This is the coding platform that we will be going to use. Clear till now, guys? Okay. So now what you basically have to do over here, first of all, is, let's just say we'll be just going to click on new file. Let's just say desktop, I'll be just going to pick up, and yeah. Okay, this is my desktop and this is how it will going to look like. Now, just click. This is, you basically have to open folder. Any folder you can basically open, download, document, any folder that you have created. Let us just say on the desktop, I'll be just going to go on the desktop. All right. And I'll be just going to, let us just say, going to create a new, this folder. Let us just say, let's upgrade CSS and HTML folder. All right. Now I'll be just going to go on back over here. Now I'll be just going to click over file and I'll be just going to click on open folder. On the desktop, I'll be just going to go and I'll be able to see that today I have created this folder. So I'll be just going to simply open it. Okay. So over here, we will be going to create a first file that will going to look like, I'll be just going to name it index.html. Just see, guys, if you are using HTML, the extension should end with HTML. Let us just say if there is an image and basically, okay, if the image is there, so the image will be in JPEG, PNG format will be there, right? If the video is basically there, so I can basically say the video can be MP4, the video can be in AVI, like multiple, this thing is basically there. If I just talk about the audio will be in .mp3, .wave. These kind of formats will be there of audio. Similarly, let's just say if I'll be going to work with CSS also I'll be just going to show you, but it will be just going to work with Python. Let us just all right. So let us just say I'll be just going to write demo Python. So Python extension should end with .py. Okay, you have to use these things. So whenever you will be going to create a HTML file, that should always end with .html. Okay, clear till now, right? Now, before that, if we'll be just going to start, I suggest you, like, there are some extensions. You might have heard about extension before. Let us just say Google extensions are there. With the help of that, you can record, Chrome extension. In the Chrome, you will be able to see that there are extension that you can take the screenshots, particularly of this portion. You can basically record the screen. Multiple extensions are there basically. All right. Now, I think my voice is this thing. Okay. Now, index.html. So we'll be just going to install some extensions. Let's just say live server. I'll be just going to install. Just click on this live server. You can basically write live server, right? And you just have to, let's just say I have like installed it previously. Now again I'm installing it. Okay, so you just have to install it. Now why we are installing it? Let us just say the code that I'll be basically going to write over here. Okay, the code that I'll be going to show you over here, we even have to deploy it on the site. You will be just going to see it on the site. So all the changes that you will be going to made over here on the live purpose, you will be able to see, okay, this changes that I have made over here. Otherwise, what you have to do, you again have to this thing, you again and again have to refresh it. All right. So HTML is index.html. Now, let me just show you one thing. You just have to use this thing, this symbol, right? Yes, a mobile लाइक अभी ऐसे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि मोबाइल में चल जाएगा. मतलब वीडियो तो आपको ऑब्वियसली मोबाइल में चल जाएगा, बट for code you already going to need a system. All right. Now, so if I'll be just going to, right, click on this thing. Okay, so you'll be able to see this code. This code is basically known as boiler code. Okay, this code is basically known as a boiler code. What a boiler code basically used to do, that means that this is the basic code that we need if we'll be just going to use HTML and all, right? This should be the minimum code that we have to use. Without this, you like cannot do this thing, write the HTML code. All right. Now, so that is basically, just one second, that is basically your boiler code that you will be going to use these things. I'll be going to explain you that what this code is basically. Okay, what is not visible? Okay, really sorry. Now I hope it is visible. Okay, should I zoom it more like this? I think it is good now. Okay, now, so guys, what we'll be basically going to do over here is that just see, Sneha, if you are even a fresher, okay, try to use VS Code only. It is as simple as I'm teaching you. Just 2 to 3 steps you have to follow over here, because in real life you have to work with these kind of code editors. If you will get familiar over here only, if you will get familiar in the in the fresher part only, you will be not going to face any kind of a problem in your job. Okay, screen is visible. Monica, screen is visible now. So all the code that we'll be basically going to write over here, we'll be going to write over here in the body part. Let us just say over here, I'll be just going to do something. Let's just something I'm basically writing over here. So I'll be just going to write, hello guys, let us just say. All right. Now what I basically have to do is just come over here. All right. Just double click on it and you will be able to see open with live server. If I'll be just going to click over here, you will be able to see this thing that we have written. So you will be able to see it on your side. On your web, you will be able to see it. Screen is visible, guys. Okay. Now, so let us just start what HTML is and what is the like basic of HTML. All right. Okay. So this thing that you will be able to see over here, this line, this basically tells nothing but the doc type declare representation that the documentation type is in like HTML. Okay. We are like using HTML5, that is the version of it. So that basically represent these things only over here. Okay. Now, okay. So let's just start with your syllabus. If I'll be just going to show you your this thing syllabus. So over here, if you'll be just going to go in on this thing, on your this thing description part, over there you will be able to see that that is your basically syllabus. So line by line, we'll be just going to cover it. Yes, Prasanna, what you wanna know? Okay, now, so let's just start this thing. So first, what we basically have to cover, three things we have basically covered till now. That was what is web development. We was able to understand the role of HTML and CSS. Set up your development environment. Yes, we have set up the development environment over here with the help of VS Code. Now what we'll be basically going to learn it, we'll be just going to learn HTML structure and basically the syntax of it. Okay, we'll be just going to do this thing. Okay. Okay, this is basically nothing. Just see over here, we are like just telling it that the code that we are writing that should be in HTML file, nothing else. Okay, and all of these things that you will be able to see over here, this is nothing but this is just going to contain the metadata over here. Okay, this is the initial code that you basically have to use. So let us just come on the topic that first we'll be just going to create a file over here that will basically going to the name of this thing. I'll be just going to give is heading and paragraphs. Heading and paragraphs.html. Okay, so again, I'll be just going to use this Amit. So this is my boiler code that you will be basically boilerplate that you'll be able to see over here. This will be basically going to use. So just 1 second. All right. So now let us just say over here in the documentation, what we'll be basically going to write is we'll be just going to write HTML. Let us just say heading and paragraphs. And in the body, what we'll be just going to do, there are some things like paragraph, headings, and multiple things are there. If I'll be just going to show you this thing, all right, this tag basically represent that we are writing a paragraph over here, nothing else. Okay, let us just say if I'll be just going to write this is a paragraph, this is a paragraph, and if I'll be just going to save it, and if I'll be just going to double click on it, and I'll be just going to do open with live server, so you'll be able to see this thing. This is a paragraph. All right, now similarly we have headings also. Now where we will be going to use a paragraph, if you guys have followed any kind of a site, let us just say you have basically used this thing medium.com, 2 word data science is there, right? Multiple sites are basically there for the learning purpose. All right, so at that time you will be able to see, okay, some headings are big, some headings are small. All right, just see, if I'll be just going to show you something, let us just say HTML medium. So this is basically nothing, just a simple vlog that you will be able to see over here. So you will be able to see, just 1 second. Yeah. that the background is like green. Over here, this is being written in a big letters and a bold letters. And this thing that you will be able to see, this is like in a normal font, plus these letters are even small. Okay, so if I'll be just going to show you the code of this thing, let us just say I'll be just going to do view page source. So all of this code is been written. You will be able to see all the code over here. Just see HTML and all they are basically using over here. Okay, so this is basically the code behind this thing that you will be able to see. All right, let's just say if I just talk about this Google. Okay, or if I just do Google, and if I'll be just going to go on Google like this, right? So if I just do view page source, you'll be able to see this is the source code of Google. All the things that you'll be able to see over here, that is the page source. Now, if I just show you something else, if I'll be just going to double click on the screen, and if I'll be just going to click on inspect, right? So just see this thing. If I'm just clicking over here, okay, if I'll be just going to click over here, Google search, okay, this is basically your Google search. If I'll be just going to write over here, let's upgrade. Okay, so now you will be able to see over here, let's upgrade has been written over here. How it has been like possible? Because the same thing that we are even doing over here in the code. All right, but over here, let's just say you might be thinking, okay, now I have changes to let's upgrade, but this is for our viewing purpose only. It's not like that everybody will going to see this thing. All right, so if we'll be just going to inspect it, you'll be clearly able to see that they are even. Let's just say if I'll be just going to remove this thing, head part. Okay, so this is how Google basically looks like without the head part. Just 1 second. So that is only the HTML part that you will be able to see. Okay, but if I'll be just going to refresh it, you will be again able to see Google search. So the same thing that we are basically doing over here in the code over here, we have something known as paragraphs and we have something known as heading. So first of all, let me just show you there in headings, we have multiple headings. We have headings like H1, H1, H2, H3, H4, S6. If I just show you over here, heading in HTML, this is how your headings will basically look like this. Some big headings, some small headings. So how do we create this thing? Let me just show you that over here. All right, now this is a paragraph and I'll be just going to over here write heading. So for heading, what I have to write, I just have to write H1 and I just have to close it and it will auto complete the tag over here. Okay, so I'll be just going to write this is heading 1 and this is paragraph under heading 1. Similarly, the same thing we'll be just going to copy and paste it, and instead of H1 I'll be just going to write H2 and this will be my heading 2. Okay, this is my heading 3. So H3, H3, similarly copy and paste. This will be like H4. This is my heading 4 and this is my heading 4 also over here. Okay, till 5 till 6 we basically have. Okay, so this will be the like 5, heading 5, and over here I also have to write 5, 4, 3, 2, and one more last heading that we'll be going to use, that should be H6, S6. Okay, now what we have to do, You have to save it first of all by using Control plus S. If you'll be just going to press those two keys, you'll be able to save your code. Now just double click on it and just do open with live server. So you'll be able to see this thing. Okay. Just see this thing. This is your heading one. This is your, if I'll be just going to inspect on it. All right. Just see the same code that we have basically written over there. Same code you will be able to see. H1 is basically this is your heading one, and this is paragraph under heading one. Okay, I think some mistake I have did over here. This is paragraph under heading two. Let me just see this thing. Okay, H2 I basically have to write over here. Really sorry for that. Now again save it and come over here. Just see, I haven't refreshed it right now. All right, over here I just saved it and I just switched to this window. Now you'll be able to see like no bold text and big text is basically there, just because I have installed this live server. So all the changes that I'm basically doing, okay, all the changes that I'm basically doing over here, that is happening live over here. All right, so this is the code that you will be able to see. This is the code that we have basically written. So this is your heading and paragraph. Yeah, Kishore, thank you very much, but I have already solved it. Okay, clear till now, guys? Do you guys have any kind of a confusion till now? I hope you guys are enjoying. Okay, and don't forget guys that there is a link in description where you can mark your attendance and where you can like fill it, so you can basically get the certificate also. So don't forget to mark the attendance, because if you'll be just going to mark it, you'll be going to get the certificate at the end. All right, now so this was the first topic. If I just talk about what we have to learn next is, okay, now let us just talk about adding some images and links. All right, I have just shown you one this thing vlog over here. You'll be able to see that there is an image, how they was able to, okay, it will increase, don't worry, the progress file will increase. So you'll be able to see this thing, this image is basically there, right? How they was able to add this image, that we'll be basically going to learn now. So let's just create a new file. All the files I'll be just going to create separately, so you guys will not going to face any kind of a problem. Okay, now so let us just say image link dot html. This I'll be just going to write again a boilerplate code. I'll be just going to call, okay, and title let us just say going to write image links. All right, this thing what we will be going to do now. So first of all, let us just create a heading over here. Let us just say with h2 I'll be just going to create a heading over here that should going to be image example. All right, now for adding an image we just need we just have to call img. Okay, we just have to call img. Now in img I have to pass some values over here. Okay, that is going to be src. Src basically stand for source. That means like what is your this thing image. Let's just copy one image in this same folder, so you will be able to see it. Let's just say I'll be just going to use this skeleton one only that I have shown you. So I have copied it over here, and yeah, you will be able to see this image. Let us say we'll be going to show this image on the side. So what I just have to do, I just have to click over here. I just have to do copy relative path, and I'll be just going to paste it over here. So this is my image path over here that I'll be going to use. Okay. Now let us just say I'll be just going to write something over here. Let us just say a paragraph I'll be just going to write basically over here. Just 1 second. Okay, paragraph. Okay, so I can basically say this is a sample image here. Okay, so one thing I have basically added over here, and let me just save it and let me just run it. Now you'll be able to see this image is really big, and you'll be able to see image example we have written. So we are able to see this thing, and this thing we have written. This is a sample image here. Okay, this is the one way of how you can basically do this thing. The another way is, if you'll be just going to click over here, you will be able to see there's a terminal. So if you want to open, if you want to run any HTML file, you can even run open, just do open and image link.html and just hit enter. Okay, with the help of this also you can run any HTML file. Yes, you just have to provide image source. Now let us just say one problem is there, because with rest, if you are learning something, you have to relate it with the real life. Let us just say by mistake I have mentioned the wrong path. Let us just say _1 I have mentioned. Now if I'll be just going to run it, so how it will going to look like? There is no image. Okay, there is no image because the path that I have mentioned, there was no _1 over there. All right, so if there is a blank part, this can like cause a big issue for the user if a user visiting to my website, that what was basically there. So for that we can basically write alter. Over there we can basically specify what was there in the image. Okay, so we can like nothing but a difference between HTML, CSS and JS. Okay, now if I'll be just going to run it, you'll be able to see that. Okay, just once. Yeah, if I'll be basically just 1 second. If the image is basically not visible over here, so you can basically get a message that okay, it is basically a image that is basically a difference between HTML, CSS and JavaScript. It will just going to show you this thing only, nothing else. All right, just 1 second. So that is basically considered as a alter. Okay, if I just copy this thing and I just click it over here. Okay, so you will be able to see it will going to just print a message for you that difference between HTML and CSS, or you can basically write over here this contains this thing. Don't worry Pratik, just try. After some time you will be basically able to mark the attendance. Okay, now similarly let us just say over here you will be able to see the image. Okay, now let us just do one thing. With respect to the image, there is one thing also, image and link we are talking about. So let us just, if I have to provide some kind of a link, let us just say h2, in h2 heading I'll be just going to do this thing, link example. And over here for providing a link, what we'll be basically going to do, let's just create a paragraph. First of all, this is a paragraph with a link. So over here I'll be just going to write a link. So for the link purpose, what I'll be going to do, we use a tag, anchor tag, you can basically know. All right, so over here we have to pass one this thing key, that is href, and we just have to write the link of it. Let us just say I'll be just going to mention Google link. All right, so that is going to be h, that is basically going to be, just sorry 1 second guys. Really sorry. Yeah. href will be basically going to use, and over here we'll be just going to use https www.google.com. This thing only you basically have to write over here. Okay, this thing only you basically have to write over here, and over here you can basically write link. And after that, like if you want, you can basically write click on the link. Some message you can basically print over here. Now let's just try to run it. Okay, so you'll be able to see we are like seeing this is a paragraph with a link. So if I'll be just going to click on this link, my Google is like automatically going to open whenever I'll be just going to click on this link. Okay, so like this, if you want to go from one website to another website, right, so you can basically use this tag over there. Yes, Aniket, we'll be going to mention this thing. We'll be going to put height and width also. Don't worry about it. Image source, just see this thing. If I have an image, what I have did in the download section, I was basically having this image. Okay, I just did Control C and I went to desktop. हम जिस folder, the folder that we was working with, let us just say let's upgrade CSS and HTML folder we was working, and I have just pasted it over here. Now what I have did is I have just clicked on it and I have copied the copy relative path and I have just pasted it over here. Okay. Now just see one thing also, guys. Right now, if I just talk about this site, okay, you'll be able to see, okay, this image is like really big. You'll be clearly not able to see it. So what we'll be going to do, we'll be going to adjust the width of it. Okay, we'll be just going to adjust the width and height of it. So how we'll be going to do it? Just see in this thing only, what I'll be just going to write, I'll be simply going to write width, that is your width, and I'll be just going to mention some number, let's just say 500, and over here I'll be just going to write height, that is like going to be again 600, let's just say, and I'll be just going to save it, and I'll be just going to yeah, now you'll be able to see that you can basically see the image. Now you can play with these numbers if you want. Let us say you want to do 200 comma 200 pixels. This image will be in pixels. Okay, in the terms of computer vision or in the terms of web development, we used to compare the pixels. Now what I do basically mean by pixels, let us just say you have a resolution, okay, in each your in your systems, right? So that has been like calculated by pixels only. So over here it is nothing, but we are like comparing things by the pixel only. So this is how you can basically use image and links. Okay, I hope you guys are clear till now. Okay, do you guys have any kind of a confusion till now, guys? No? Okay, that is really good. Yeah, okay, that is really good. Yes, but right now we are learning Jadeja, right now we are basically learning this thing. Style we are not using right now, guys, that you have to understand. Style comes in CSS. Right now we are just using HTML. We are learning about HTML, how we can do the same things with HTML. Styles I'll be even going to show you tomorrow. This is basically like a 3-day boot camp, so you don't have to worry about these things. All right. Okay, so now, yeah, that will be even going to learn, Praveen. Don't worry about it, about the responsive website. Okay, now So the next topic that we'll be going to have, uh, just see, the meta tag is basically important. In the meta tag, you will be able to see char set is basically that is UTF-8. With respect to, let's just say, if you are working with a CSV, okay, if you are working with a comma separated value file, so that is even encoded with commas. Let's just say, just see this thing. I hope my this screen is visible, right? So if I'll be just going to mention some, let's just say Satyam, all right, my age and my job, what kind of a job I'm doing. So this thing, this is being encoded by comma. So this is your CSV. Similarly, we have different encodings. UTF-8 that you will be able to see, that is nothing but a encoding. Okay. UTF-8 is basically stands for nothing. That is your Unicode transformation format 8-bit. Okay. That's why it is important. Now just see, you might be going to ask why it is important. Okay. So you have to be sure that the document can correctly display and interpret it in a wide range. All right. If your document is not being encoded in a proper format, how you will be able to see it? That is the main thing, no? So sometimes you might be going to face some kind of a problem. Okay, you might going to face some, guys, for these small questions you can even do a Google search. All right, because we have to cover a lot of things, we even have to discuss this thing. Okay, now, so let us just do one thing. Now let us just move forward and let us just discuss about our next topic, and let us just create a new file, understanding HTML tags. Okay, we'll be just going to understand HTML tags. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so common HTML elements, first we'll be just going to see HTML. Guys, just see one thing. All right, if you are facing any kind of a doubt, always instead of asking someone like for waiting the reply and something else, always first go with Google search. That helps you in improving your skill, because in real life no one will like going to help you. They'll be not going to sit aside you and they'll be just going to do code for you. You have to do all the things, because if your code is doing, if someone else is doing your code, why someone will hire you? There is no point. Okay, so instead being little lazy, try to be little active. That is like a personal advice from my end to you. Okay, because most of the freshers that I used to see, they don't even try anything. They just directly come up to you, okay sir, I am basically getting stuck over here, can you please help me over here? Okay, without even like trying, without even doing a single Google search. Okay, so that you basically not have to do. That is the main thing that I'm basically telling you over here. Okay, now, now so HTML elements, so we have seen about this thing, we have seen about paragraphs. You will be able to see that also a HTML element. If I just talk about heading, you have even seen about heading, that is even a HTML this thing. Now after that we have an HTML element known as BR. Okay, if I'll be just going to add over here BR. Okay, BR, this is again a this thing element in HTML. P is what? P is again an element. H1 is again an element. Now, if I'll be just going to do open with live server, you will be able to see that after paragraph, there is a little gap over here. So BR is basically there for break line, for a line break. So you can basically get a little bit space. Okay. That is basically your HTML elements. Now, let us just talk about HTML attributes. HTML attributes.html format will be just going to write. So HTML attributes are basically what? So if I just talk about all like HTML element can have attribute, the elements that we have discussed right now, right? So what I am basically saying over here, all HTML elements can have attributes. You have to remember this thing, guys. Okay. Now let us just talk about, if I just talk about a boilerplate, if we'll be just going to write over here, right? And if I'll be just going to talk about this thing, the href attribute. Okay, we have seen about this thing, a tag, that was your hyperlink. Let's just say a, I'll be just going to write again. Okay, if I just talk about this image link, so over here we have used this tag. All right, so if I'll be just going to talk about that, if I'll be just going to write href inside it, sorry, over here we have to write it href, I'll be just going to mention, and I'll be just going to mention this image link over here. Okay, let us just say copy relative path, I'll be just going to do. So this href is nothing but href is the attribute. This is basically known as attribute. So these are the small things that you should be like aware about. If I just talk about this image one, if I just talk about this img image one, okay, so over here the source, the same thing. Okay, this thing, I'll be just, this is again an image. Over here, sorry, you will be just going to write www.google.com. Okay, so href is nothing but it is again an attribute. And if I just talk about src, again it is basically a attribute. All right, now if I just talk about that, there was an image, there was width, and there was basically height also. That is again 100. So width and height is again an attribute for all of you. Okay, again, I know you guys have little bit understanding about this thing. Okay, yeah. Attribute, I'm telling you what is the attribute. The same thing I'm telling you guys. Attribute is basically nothing. HTML attribute provide additional information about HTML elements. These are your elements. Let's just say what is basically this thing. Okay, these are basically your HTML elements, and inside this we have attribute. So HTML attribute provide additional information about HTML elements, nothing else. It is just providing more information. Okay, now, so this is basically your HTML attributes that you will be able to see over here. Now you might be considering that there's a style also. So yes, style is basically, we can like use. That is again an attribute. If I just talk about a style that we use over here. Okay. Now, so the next thing that we'll be like going to work with, these are your like attributes. Now you might have seen on some sites, if you'll be just going to follow something there, you'll be able to see some tables, list and tables and multiple things. So again, there is a very important topic in HTML, that is basically working with list and tables. List and tables, we'll be just going to work with list and table. If I just show you what list and table is, So you'll be able to see if you want to present a data like this on site, on your website, if you want to present a data like this. So for that, we'll be basically going to use list and tables. Yes, Nagaraju, you will going to have the recording. Yes, Priyanka, Flex and Grid, I'll be even going to show you that is in CSS. So tomorrow we'll be just going to see it. Okay. Yeah. Smile, I think I have already answered it. What is the advantage of having meta over there? Because you have to provide a data in proper format. Okay. Now, all right. So let's just start with list and tables over here, guys. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So whenever I'll be just going to talk about list in HTML, there are like two type of list. The first one is ordered list. The second one is unordered list. Okay. List and tables we are like working with. Right now we are like working with list and tables, guys. Okay. So let me just show you that also. Just give me 1 second. List and table, let me just show you. Okay, I think. Okay. Okay, so this is basically the code with respect to list and tables. If I'll be just going to run it, let me just show you how this will going to look like. Like if you have to create things like this, okay, how you will be able to do it? Let's just side by side try to understand the code. Where is my this thing? Yeah. So just see this thing over here. Just 1 second. Let me just do one thing. Let me just split the window over here. So you will guys will not have any kind of a confusion. Yeah. Now just see this thing over here. This is nothing but my like main code that we'll be going to use. And over here we have just added a h2 heading, that is unordered list, that you'll be basically able to see over here, that this is your unordered list. That is your like a heading that we have added. Now for creating a unordered list, we have to use a tag like this ul, that basically stands for unordered list. Okay. Lokwa, what you are asking? Can you just once again can you show how to watch side by side? Okay, just see. So unordered list we have, and we have ordered list. So this is your unordered list and this is your ordered list. What is the difference that you will be able to see, guys? Okay, what is the difference that you guys are like able to see? Can I say if I just talk about unordered list, it is not like that numbers are like shuffling over here. First I have added item 1, item 2, item 3, so it is being written in a sequence only. But the only difference is that these points are being mentioned using bullet points. An ordered list is being like mentioned using 1 2 3 in a sequence, right? Yeah, obviously. Anime, right? Point and numbers. So whenever I'll be just going to talk about unordered list, because that depends on the use case that you are using. Let's just say if you require bullet points, so at that time you will be going to use unordered list. But if you need numbers, so you will be just going to use 1 2 3 like this. Yeah, Kishore, right? Bullet and numbers is basically their point and numbers. Yeah, you guys are right. Now, after that, what we have, what how we have like did this thing. That is the like main thing. I have even given the like explanation over here. So if you guys like getting stuck somewhere, you guys like can just do this thing. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Now, so you will be able to see one thing, that how we will be going to create a order list that is using a UL. But what is this li over here? Okay. Li basically represent list items, that how you will be just going to show the items one by one, like right. So we'll be just going to use li at that time. Yes, this video will going to save over here. Yeah. And after that, if I just talk about ordered list, so again we have used li for creating an ordered list like this. What we basically have to do is, we just have to call ol, that is your ordered list. And again, inside this thing, if you want items like this, you have to mention li. Similarly, we have some same tags. Let's just talk about what other tags like we basically have over here. So DL is basically there. DL basically represent for definition list. If you want to provide some kind of a definition over here, so at that time you will be going to use DL. Now, what is this DT that you will be able to see? You will be able to see that definition list. Let us say term one. You can like something. Let us just say a gravity. You can basically write in place of term one, and over here there will be a definition of gravity. So if you want to build a site like this, at that time you can use these things. Okay. Now, if I just talk about DT, what this DT is stands for. Okay. This represents nothing but this represents a term or name in a definition list. A name. Okay. Now, what is this DD? This stands for definition or this thing. Definition or description. That, let's just say if you'll be just going to write gravity over here, or let's just say you'll be just going to write HTML. All right, HTML you will be just going to write. So what you basically have to do over here, you will be just going to write the definition of HTML. Let me just save it. Just see HTML. Over here I'll be just going to write the definition of HTML. Okay, HTML is a language, that I'll be just going to write over here. Okay, so you'll be able to see that what we have basically did. This is your this thing term, and this is the definition of it. All right. Now, there is something also called as nested list, that inside a list you want to create other list also. Okay, nested list. Yeah, the same thing I told you, no. DT represents for definition list, and DD represents for definition or description. I hope you are clear, Nitin. All right. Now, if I just talk about a nested list, okay, this is basically your nested list over here. So we have added a heading, nested lists, and UL is basically what? Unordered list. That means we'll be just going to create bullet points, and in bullet points we want list like this. So UL is basically the unordered list, and again we have mentioned li. All right, that's your list items, and I have basically added like sub item 1, sub item 2, then I have basically closed this ul list. Similarly for other list. So like this you can basically create a nested list. Yes, Navneet, you are right. List in a list is basically okay. List in a list is basically called as nested list. Now, uh, okay. Now, if I just talk about table, if you basically want to create a table like this, so how you will be basically going to create this table? What is the like code for this table? So it is basically nothing. Over here, you will be able to see first we have written a heading, that is your H2 table. All right. Now, table border is equal to 1. If I'll be just going to do border is equal to 2, what it will going to do, you will be able to see border has been increased. If I do 5, just see. It is just a border that it is considering. Okay. Yeah. List within a list. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Okay. Now, so over here you will be able to see we will be just going to start it like this. If you want to mention border, mention border. Otherwise, you can just leave this one also. There is no need for the border. If I'll be just going to save it, just see. It will going to show you like this. But if you want some lines, a proper table, you have to use this border. Okay. Just 1 second, guys. So this is how it will basically going to look like. So T head you will be able to see. So this is basically nothing, a table head we are talking about. Okay. TR is basically what? This is the table row, that in one row in this table we will be able to see this horizontal way, these are rows, and if I just talk about a vertical way, these are your columns. So we are mentioning in a table row, in a first row I want header 1, header 2, header 3. This is how they have mentioned. Okay. Now after that, what we'll be basically going to do, again T body we are basically calling. Over here your T body is being closed, that this was the role of the body. Over there we'll be just going to mention the heading, heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. Yeah, we'll be going to discuss about this. If you want, you can even add BR also over here. Right. Now after that, table row, in a table row we'll be going to enter the data. This is our first row. If I just talk about these things, these were our columns. Now table row will be just going to enter the data. So TD will be just going to use, that is your table data. Row 1, cell 1, row 1, cell 1, this is the data that we are entering over here. All right. In the second row we'll be again going to enter this data. In the third row we'll be going to enter this data, one by one, one by one. So this is how this code is working. So if you want to create any kind of a unordered list, if you want to create any kind of a ordered list, definition list, nested list, or a table, this is how you can basically do it. Okay. Serial number we can even add, but we at that time we basically have to use this thing, this thing, your CSS. But right now we are not using these things. More about tags. Yeah, we'll be going to discuss about more about tags. We can even add space on it. You don't have to worry about it. We can adjust the heights. So when I'll be just going to explain you about this thing, height and widths, at that time, like how we can basically add a space in tables. So with the help of CSS, we'll be easily able to do it. But right now we are focusing on the basics parts, guys. Yes, Aniket, audio and video part also I'll be going to explain you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, Mahyal, you'll be easily able to learn it. The way, just see, the HTML is also easy. Same, in the same way, we'll be going to learn CSS also. Yes, we can. Okay. Okay. So let's just discuss the next part over here. So what we have discussed till now. Okay, you guys want to know about more tags, right? Let me just see this thing as one thing also, just guys, just see one thing. Whenever we all are learning something, okay, whenever we all are learning something, it's not like that. Just see, if I just talk about this code I'm like talking about, let me just make it full screen. How I will know that okay, OL is basically there for the ordered list. How I would know that UL is basically there for unordered list. Okay, that is the main thing, because like I haven't created these codes. These are the codes that is already been created and I'm just using it. Okay, so how we'll be able to learn these things? So let us just talk about the resources of it. So I'll be just going to give you this thing, W3 resources HTML. Just click on this one. Okay, you'll be able to see multiple things. HTML home, basics, elements, attributes, heading is basically there. So if I'll be just going to click on heading, right? HTML heading are titles or subtitles that you want to display on a web page. So this is how it will look like: heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, 5, 6. And this is how you have to execute it. Over here, they have even given a compiler. So you can click on try it yourself and you will be able to see the whole code. If you'll be just going to run it, you will be able to see this thing. Okay. Now just see over here, they have mentioned this thing. Style comes basically inside this, your CSS. So we are not discussing about it for now. Let's just talk about paragraph. So over here, you will be able to see what all things are basically there in HTML and how you can use it. It's not like that I'm the only person who will be going to tell you, okay, you have to follow this thing. In real life, no one will be there. You have to search the things from your own. So you can just consider any site with from which you can basically take the help. Let's just say you guys was asking about video tags. All right, so here is the HTML media. Let's just I have clicked on it. All right, so over here they have given what is multimedia, right? Multimedia comes in many different formats, like how you can basically play a sound, image, video, recorded films, and GIF, and multiple things you can, how you can basically do these things. These are the format that it basically supports. Okay, now let's just say how we can play with a video. So over here they have given it. Let's just click on this thing. So HTML body, this is your boilerplate, nothing else. Now video width should be this much, height should be 240. All right, now this is the video link. src is basically nothing a source, like the way we have basically pasted this thing, image. Similarly, we are playing a video. If I'll be just going to click on it, okay, you'll be able to see this video. So this is your video tag. This is how you have to call this video tag. All right. And if you want an explanation, how does it like working? So just see the control attributes add video control like play, pause, and volume. Okay. Just see this thing. If you'll be just going to add this control at that time, what will going to happen? You can control the play, pause, and volume button. This is the only thing that you have to do. And height, width, we all know what it is. What is source? We all know what it is. And the text between the video and this video tag will only be displayed in browser that doesn't support that particular video. Clear, guys, till now? Now let us just say you don't want to control this video. You want to autoplay it. Let us just say if someone is coming on your site, there is no control option. So at that time, you just have to as autoplay. You just have to add autoplay at that time, guys. Clear till now? Guys, can I get your confirmation? Vidyadhar Rao, I think you was asking about the more tax, and who was asking about this thing, video and all. Clear, right? Are you guys enjoying this session or not? Guys, the main thing what I always focus is that it's not like that the code that I was explaining you over here. I don't want that you guys will be limited to this code only. You should know from where we are basically getting this code, because I'm not the one who have created these kind of a codes. In real life, you have to work like this only. You have to search for your problems. Okay. So now let us just talk about audio tags. And in video, like multiple things are also there. So just see this W3 school. This site is really good, guys. I suggest you that you guys should go there and see these things. All right. Now, if I just talk about audio, how you'll be going to do the audio part like this. You'll be able to see this window. Okay, this is the horse. This is basically a horse voice note. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Now, so how do we call this audio? Audio controls. If we are passing control at that time, we can decide these things, that what should be the volume, whether it should be like playback speed should be 1.5, or like what should be the playback speed and all. Just see like this. But if you'll be just going to remove this control, at that time you will be not able to control it. All right. That is basically this thing that they are explaining. Now, just see autoplay is basically there. If you'll be just going to autoplay, it will going to autoplay each and everything. Okay. If you'll be just going to write audio controls autoplay mute, that means initially you want it to mute, but if someone wants to unmute it, then they can unmute it. Yeah, Samasundaram, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. In the future, we'll be just see, guys. We have the Node.js classes also that has been starting from 15 Feb. You can basically check on the description. Node.js 0 to hero classes are basically there. So you can enroll yourself over there. It has been starting from 15 Feb. just go in the description. Over there you will be able to get a link. So you'll be going to get a notification whenever will guys are going to be live. Okay. Like this multiple, this thing is basically there, guys. So the only thing that we are like left with is, okay, what topics are basically left? Multiple topics we have basically covered. Now let's just talk about one more topic. That was basically your formatting. Okay, let us just say you want to show a text like this in a bold manner, maybe in an italic way, and superscript, subscript, and superscript. What does that mean? Let us just say if I want to write some kind of a chemistry formulas, H2O, okay, O2. So at that time we'll be going to use subscript and superscript, because this is how you will be just going to see the formulas, right? So just see this thing in HTML formatting elements, they have explained each and everything. Like B is there. If you'll be just going to call this B, that will be a bold text. Strong, that will be an important text. So let us just, you can even try it. The compiler is basically there. That this is the normal text. Just see. If they have written it like this in a paragraph, that is the normal text. But if you have added a B like this, that is the bold text. Okay. Similarly, same we have multiple tags are there. I is there. For italic text, you have to use this tag. Okay. Emphasize text is basically that you have to use this one. Marked, you have to use this one, like this. So each and everything is basically there. The last thing that we are like left with is we just have to discuss the forms in HTML. All right. So the forms we'll be just going to discuss in the next session, and div and spam is also left. So tomorrow only I'll be just going to show you div and spam and forms, and at the same time I'll be just going to give you the introduction and some important topics also that are in your this thing, CSS, styling text and fonts, box models and layout. I'll be going to explain you, and after that we'll be going to complete, we'll be just going to cover flexbox, CSS grids, responsive website design, transition and animation. Multiple things we'll be going to cover tomorrow. Yeah, audio tag. Rachel, I have shown you. I have shown you the audio tag also. Just see this thing. This is your audio tag. What do you want to ask over here? Like this, you will be just going to use the audio tag. I hope, Rachel, you are clear. CSS is very easy, guys. You don't have to be afraid about these things. You will going to learn it for sure. So, guys, do we? Okay. Do you guys have any kind of a confusion till now? Because I think this is it for today's session. We'll be going to continue the things in next session. These are for two videos. This is your audio, right? If this format will not going to work, so then this format will going to work. That's why you have to provide multiple formats. No. Yeah. So guys, okay guys, then this is it for today's session. So see you guys in the next session where we will be going to cover forms and all. So this is it for today's session. Then bye bye each and everyone. Good night guys. Take care. Bye bye guys. Good night. Take care.